Hello guys, and welcome back to the Bushcraft shelter. After a couple of weeks of perfectly dry good weather, I decided to do a wild camp. It starts raining and there's wind as well. Not too much that you can't be in the woods, but it's not the weather we've had over the last couple of weeks, that's for sure. It's looking like the rain is going to stay for a while, so I'm going to get a shelter up ASAP and then we'll have a chat. But main priority, shelter before anything else. Right, camp is officially set up now. There is a bit of wind up there. Not too much. It's just the rain. It's eased off at the minute. But yeah, I'm all set up. Cooking areas out there. I can use gas out there. If I decide to have a fire, I am protected by the corner of the tarp. Down there. Obviously I've got my benches out. The Bergen's back there. And you can just hear the rain on the tarp. That's always a really nice sound once you set camp up. So you're probably thinking, why don't I just get into the shelter? Well, it's pretty dark and gloomy in there, and I don't want to spend the whole evening in those kind of conditions. So I set a tarp up here to give me a working area, and that's what you will probably have to do for 90% of bushcraft shelters. Even though you've got a shelter and it may be waterproof and you can get out of the elements, it's not conducive to you having a living space unless you build something really massive. And for me, this was big enough. It was a big enough build in any case. I'll let you have a look so you can understand that in a moment. Some people believe building a bushcraft shelter means you're going to be able to have a time out in the woods no matter what the conditions. It's fantastic to sleep and use in there, but not to do and administer yourself and basically have that time where you're soaking in the forest. I'm here to enjoy the trees. Being in there is pretty much like being in a dark tunnel. I might as well be down one of the Cornish mines that I've got up on the hill behind me. But let's have a look at this setup. Right, I don't need to cut any wood, and as you can see, it's as dark as a Cornish mine in there. So that's why I'm not spending the whole evening sat in there. So the tarp gives me enough protection. I've got my seat there. You can see my Bergen's well covered. I'll bring this in actually closer. And I've got my benches there, so I've got all my stuff at hand. I'm still not decided whether to have a fire or not. Something I always do if I'm in this kind of setup, I get one head torch up there, and that's my camp torch. So no matter if I go wandering and roaming around for whatever reason, I switch that on. I've got a point of reference in the dark to come back to. Doesn't matter if I'm cooking on gas out there. Oh, let's have a little chat about this. This is my new Bushcraft knife I've forged. And I'm using this instead of the other one now, and I'm trialing it. I'll talk about that a bit more in depth on another video. I just want to see how it works out over this particular weekend. And my famous stainless steel Russian vodka mug has broken. The handle has come away from it. and I'm struggling to get somebody to weld it in my local area, or stainless steel welder to do it. So till that's done, I had to go into Go Outdoors and get one of their stainless ones, and it doesn't feel quite as solid as the one that's has broken on me. And that sounds ironic, doesn't it? I'm saying this one doesn't feel as solid as the one that's broken, but hey, that's what it is. Until I get it welded, I'm using a Go Outdoors one. You never know, I might be convinced and stay with this one. Pretty simple. I've got my guide line running down over there to that stump. I've got bungees to keep torsion on it. I'm using a bungee to this tree. And if I come around, I've got cordage running from that corner to that tree. And that guide line has just got 3 bungees, just keeping it tight all the way along. Simple, quick throw up, no messing, just straight up, and I have coverage there now. I haven't gone much higher. That's higher than I usually would. I've just done that to let some light in. If you go too high, wind will bring raindrops into you. So you've got, it's a kind of like a halfway measure. You've got to think of these things. So I've got here late, you can evidently see, but there's like, you know, rain clouds, so it's kind of putting a real sort of grey coverage over the sky, so I'm not got very long with light. I've decided to come out because, quite simply, I've had a few weeks where I haven't been out because I've had things to do at home and family commitments, and the wife is going away for an Easter break with all her family. All the ladies and the kids from the family are going away for a catch up and a bit of a socialise, and I'm at home with the dogs, so I obviously can't go wild camping because I'm looking after them. So this is my only opportunity, so I've decided, even though the conditions aren't great, to come out, and I'm loving listening to the rain on the tarp. Once I've got a coffee and can kind of sink down and slow down into this woodland and let it come to me and feel it, the world will be fine. It's just I had to push a little bit harder than I usually do to get in here. And you've always got that in the back of my mind. Are you going to get that tarp up before the heavens open? At this moment in time, if there was a deluge, it wouldn't matter. I'd just sit back with my coffee, let it happen, and enjoy the sound of the rain on the tarp. So yeah, let me get this coffee done. So this is what I've got to eat in a minute. I'm going to get this on the go after I've got my coffee going. I know what you're thinking. I'm now totally converted to these ready dehydrated meals. That's not the case. I'll be back on cans as soon as I've run out of these. These are still leftovers from when I did my Scotland trip. As soon as these run out, I'll be back to testing different varieties of ready meals out of cans. Back to budget style. That's nice. I don't think it's going to be too cold tonight because we've got rain, and it's been about 12 degrees during the day. It probably dropped down to about between 5 and 7, so I don't think I have to worry too much about being cold, although I have brought the complete system and I'm just going to use it for comfort now. So the wife's away. What am I doing this weekend? Well, I'm looking after the dogs, like I said, so there'll be plenty of dog walks, and I'll be in the workshop. I will probably one evening shoot down the pub for a couple pints, and you know, it takes me about 45 minutes to get to the pub, 45 minutes back, so I can stay there for a couple hours. Then I've got to come back, because the dogs, you can't leave them no more than 4 hours on a trot. But I may try and finish that expedition I started to find that Iron Age hill fort. I have been doing some work on that, and I think I've got a route in. So I may this weekend complete that, and if I do, I'll put the video up. If I don't worry, we're going to get that done, and we will get into that location. But I'm hoping I can complete that and put a tick in the box for that. So by the time you probably watch this, all that would have happened. All what I've just talked about will have happened. I had this before, this particular menu, on Dartmoor with Dave and his son Billy. So I know what this tastes like, and I did enjoy it. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to get this on the go and eat it while we still got daylight. I can't really go too much for a mooch around out in the woods, because it's wet enough, or it's coming down not full tilt, but it's that kind of like misty rain. If you get out in it, you don't notice you're getting wet, and when you get back under cover, you feel yourself and you know you are absolutely soaking. I do have waterproofs with me, but I don't intend to use them. I'm happy just sitting here listening to the forest and watching it, really. This is what I came out for, just to soak in the forest. I kind of get claustrophobic being in a house. Don't get me wrong, I love my house, I love my home, and I love the wife and kids and everything like that. But I am the sort of person that loves to just sort of like pack a bag and go off and enjoy some time and moments by myself. And for some people that might mean being in the pub or being off with mates or socialising and things like that. But for me, this is just how I want it. Being out here in the woods. Everybody's different. Now I feel really blessed that I've got this little spot to come to and just get away from it. It was worth putting in all that effort to find this location and build the bushcraft shelter. I was planning on going somewhere else, but yeah, the weather, time and everything has conspired against me. I'm still deciding on that fire. Using nature's baby wipes, moss. I forgot to bring some, so I'm cleaning my cutlery the old-fashioned bushcraft way. Watch and learn. You will be tested later on. They look like what you see cars driving around when somebody's put it on the back tow bar or the back windscreen wiper and they don't know somebody's done it. I'm not finding that hilariously funny, but you do see cars going along like it and you think, don't you know it's there? But in any case, dog poo bags, I've got thousands of them because I've got dogs, and I keep reiterating, they're fantastic to put a couple in your pocket and you can put all your trash in, chuck it in your Bergen on the way home, and then when you get home, fish it out straight in the bin. Absolutely, you know, the simplicity, but the fact it keeps your kit clean, it's just, well, it's just one of those things that you ought to do it and everything's easy, or you get home and your Bergen smells of whatever you've eaten a day ago. Right, light is fading, so I've got a, let me put my glasses on. I'm at that age. Collier cider, made in Somerset. It's a big boy's drink. This is an 8.4%. I've only got the one. I don't think I need any more than that. So, yeah, I'm going to crack this open and start enjoying the evening. I'm still making my mind up about that fire. Right then. And considering it's an 8.4%, it's quite sweet. In fact, this is almost tastes like a table cider. And by that I mean something you'd have with a meal rather than getting on a session. Yeah, it's alright. Well, I'm trying to study the weather report and I'm getting conflicting information, but it should stop later on. But there's other you know, weather channels which are saying it's due to carry on for a little while longer than what the others say, so I'm not entirely sure. But I'm just walking up to the Cairn burial chamber. When I'm here before it gets dark, I always just have a little toast, have a little look. I think I said in another video, it's just a bit of a tradition. Trying to get this done. I find these things fascinating, but yeah, let's pop up and have a look. Here we are, coming up to the mound. In this light, dim light, you can actually see the outline and the crown of it. So yeah, toast my neighbours tonight. Right, let's get back. Right, I don't have to cut any firewood. There's still some plenty. You know, plenty good enough. It's dry. We haven't had no rain for a couple of weeks, so it's bone dry. It's been in the shelter a while. It's been drizzling now, so all I got to do is basically break it down and batten it, and I'll get this fire going. You'll notice the knife on this one, I've got more of a traditional kind of like Bowie styled blade, and I've kept the handle slightly curved to increase the downward force that you can press on the blade. The straight one was a very small horseshoe, and if you really pushed really hard, because obviously it's a metal handle and it was extremely thin, it would kind of push into the hand. That's a lot bigger blade there, and the handle is a lot more thicker. Obviously horseshoes come in different sizes. So yeah, I'm going to try this one. The other one isn't been put to bed, not to be used. It is still going to be used, but this one's just been like designed for a bit more heavier bushcraft duties. It fits into the hand a lot better there, and when you're pushing down, as an example, like this, as the blade rises and you're pushing down like that, the back piece locks into your fingers like a seesaw counterbalance, giving you a little bit more, because the handle is only as thick as the horseshoe, so it just gives that little bit more ability to get force. As you can see, it's plenty sharp enough. I have sharpened that. I mean, it will take, you know, wood off as good as any other bushcraft knife for a short while. Because there's no carbon, this will dull out quite quick. But then again, I'm in the UK, I'm not in, you know, some, what can I say, Canadian or Alaskan kind of scenario. I can actually sharpen my knife every time I get home, but to be honest with you, I probably sharpen a horseshoe knife every 6 to 10 occasions that I go out, so it's very infrequently, and for what I use it and what I do with it, they do the job. And I'm sure a caveman would have appreciated a metal tool like this. Went through that. This is dry wood, it's not much of a test. But I've only got a small burner, not a fire. Yes, like I said, I'm quite happy with that. I do have another blank that I forged, and I'm trying to work out what style of blade I want to do with that. Once I've decided, we'll cut it out, I'll grind the bevel and the edge, then we'll heat treat it, sharpen it, and see how that one performs. It's a different style of blade on that, similar type of handle, not quite as rounded, just a little bit of a curve, but the blade is a lot fatter, and I've basically hammered it out, forged it so it's a lot thinner. So I should imagine that one would be good for like carving and whittling. But this one I've tried to design to do campfire tasks and with a little bit more ease, and for it to be a little bit more user friendly. Like I say, I'm not the average bushcrafter. I like to make a lot of my stuff, and in the tradition of a hobo. Whoop. When you're battening, you need to get it on the back part of the blade, because if you run out of the tip and you're smashing that, you start destroying your hammer or mallet. I'm not going to do all of it because some of this will go in as it is. That's a bit punky, that is. Right, let me get set up and get this fire going because we're beginning to lose light. Don't breathe any of that smoke in, because it is toxic, because it's man-made substances. Right, I've put that wood in, and as you can see, it's smoking a fair bit. It's not up to temperature, but I think I put that punky bit of wood in, and as you can see, I'm producing a bit of smoke. I think this jacket that I'm wearing is getting its first taste of campfire smoke. Baptism by fire. Well, the light is beginning to go. I can hear the last of the birds beginning to sing around me. The fire stopped smoking for a little while. Me and Jamie have had an interesting couple days model making. Cody and Corey have been doing or studying the Titanic at school. They're obsessed with it anyway, so you know, it was something they knew all about and they were really excited. But we've actually had to make a cardboard model of the sinking Titanic, and I'll put the footage into this video so you guys can see. Feel free to rate it out of 10. It's not going to win any prizes, shall I say, in a model making competition, but it's been made of cardboard and whatever we can salvage at home. So yeah, but the two boys think it's absolutely fantastic. So yeah, that's got to be taken into school as well tomorrow. Right, I've had to do all my domestic stuff here, but I've also been roped into doing this. So this is part of the reason I'm late packing to get out for this wild camp. I wonder if any of you guys can guess what this is supposed to be. And it's took more time than I thought trying to construct this out of cardboard. But there you go. I'll give you a clue. It was an extremely famous film, on top of it being a famous ship. And I think you get the gist of where it's going. Right then guys, I'm going to turn in. I've actually got to get the kids to school tomorrow. Then I've got to crack on with hiking sticks. I've got a lot of sticks that I've got to get ready to go out the door. So I can't really mess about. So it's going to be an early start for me. And get out of here. So I'm just finishing up the last of my drink. Then I'm going to get into the shelter. I thought I smelled fox scat in the far corner. I've had a look. I can't see anything, but I'm making sure my bivvy bag doesn't get anywhere near it. As you can hear, it's still raining. The shelter is dry in there. The one thing with these moss shelters, they will stay dry so long as the moss is soaking up the moisture. It will then, if you've got a steep enough pitch, trickle down and dissipate on the floor at the base. If you get a downpour and that moss is already saturated, it will eventually work through. Moss is only as good as a shower or a steady trickle so it can disperse the rain. Anything heavier than that, it will come through. So if it gets really bad during the night, I'll be out here underneath the tarp. But to start with, I can get in underneath that shelter. Right, so obviously this part of the shelter isn't waterproof, but I'm heading into here and you can see that it's still good to go in here. there's no leaks. Over in that far corner, I did kind of smell something, and I think it is fox scat. But I'm at least 3-4 feet away from that. I'm right up the end here. I think this shelter's been commandeered by a fox. But yeah, I'm going to get in here. He's going to dip out tonight. This is mine. Well, I'm just going to lie here and watch the last of the fire go. I got my pillow here. I've got my shoes there. It's kind of like a ramp where I've got a dry bag full of secondary warm kit if I needed it, but that's my pillow. Yeah, so I'm going to stare out there and watch that fire. Now, I'm not one of those people that go around chasing bad weather to camp, quite simply to quote unquote test myself. I've done shed loads of being out in poor weather, so I'm a little bit beyond it, and this is about as bad as I'd like it to get, because quite simply I don't feel there's any need for me to prove anything. I've been and done it, so I'm hoping it doesn't get any worse than this. But yeah, I'm going to sign out from here, and I'll catch you in the morning bright and early. Morning, people. I've got a few camp jobs done, and I've just got my coffee. I'm going to sit down and listen to the forest come to life. All the birds are out, and once there's enough light, I'm going to take the tarp down and just start stowing stuff away. I've got all my bedding, my sleep system away. It's just basically pick up the last bits here. Then I've got to make my way out of it. Busy day today, and I've got to get home pretty early. I've got to get this Titanic model into school safely in one piece. So while this jet is going overhead, your tarp should be the last thing that you ever take down wherever you've got your tarp set up. It's just started sprinkling with a bit of rain now. It's pitter-pattering on the tarp. Never take your tarp down. That is the last. It's the first thing that comes out and the last thing you take down. But I'm really enjoying just being in the woods as it wakes up, listening to all the birds. Well then guys, another successful camp. I do like this location, but I've camped here a couple times now, and I've got that urge to move on. That's why I was hoping to do that other camp. I will make every effort to get out somewhere else, somewhere new. Don't get me wrong, I love the location and everything that I've built this in, but it's me. I've just got itchy feet. I'm a bit of a nomad in my whole area district of North Cornwall, and I'll be wild camping all over the place in it. It's just in my nature. I don't like being settled in one camp spot for too long. But it did serve a purpose. It got me out, you know, in pretty, well, not horrendous weather conditions, but it wasn't going to be pleasant getting wet. It started raining now. It's not heavy, but it's not stopping the farmers. I can hear them out ploughing the fields and raking over the topsoil. And before I came here last night, I saw a few of them putting seeds in the fields. So yeah, another year, another cycle is going through, and before we know it, spring will be gone and we'll be into the summer months. But for me now, I've got to head off out of here, and I really appreciate you guys coming along on these camps. Um, I do everything solo, but in some ways, talking to a camera, it doesn't feel like I'm doing it solo. And on top of that, my boys do occasionally flip on them and have a little chuckle watching their dad. So I'm going to get ready, get this backpack on me, or Bergen, and get out of here. So take care, stay safe, and hope to catch you guys on the trail.